Welcome to Lead Her Chats with your host, Rajade Richmond. This is a no-fluff zone where big girl panties are required. Nothing but true-to-life conversations take place here. We are broadcasting from Bold Radio Station, and now, here is your host, Rajade.
Welcome to this episode of Leader Chats. This is our second episode, and today I'm so excited about the guest. Our guest today, her name is Jo, and her nickname the Giant Thurmond, and I just love her. She is this short, little, cute, little, petite little thing. She has the most biggest, most explosive message for you guys, and when I first heard her speak, I was just like blown out of my seat, and I was just like, I gotta have her on something that I'm working on, and what not a better way to even work with her and to share her with you all today on my radio show. And as you know, from our last episode that I discussed what the purpose for Leader Chats is, and the whole idea behind Leader Chats is to provide women with real solutions to real problems. We just don't want to be talking about things that aren't tangible and that's not working, or we just don't want to address issues that make you feel warm and fuzzy. We want to address the issues that make you want to go put some big girl panties on. And that's something that I like to say, and if you follow me for a while, you know that's one of my favorite sayings is go put your big girl panties on. It's about owning your mess, owning your life, and making a conscious decision to change your life. And that's what Leader Chats is all about. It's about giving you the solutions to the hard questions that you may have, and you've been hitting the wall, or you may not feel comfortable to go ask your mom, your sister, your girlfriend. And Leader Chats is a platform that provides that for you. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you our second guest, which is Jo Thurmond. She's an entrepreneur, a transformation coach, and an empowerment speaker. She has a powerful gift that attacks doubt, fear, obstacles, and perceived failures and transforms them into keys of success. She is skillful in revitalizing your confidence and repositioning your perspective while pushing you towards a purpose-driven lifestyle. Jo has a result-driven and transformative approach to coaching. Her passion combined with her high energy inspires people to transcend the negative and restrictive aspects of life and rise above victoriously into a life of greatness. And without further ado, I want you guys to all give it up for my guest, Jo. So Jo, welcome to Leader Chats. I'm so honored that you're here today.
Thank you so much. I am so happy to be here with you guys. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. So today, our topic, for you all that may not know, our topic, if you're just now tuning in, is how to live in purpose. And I wanted to talk about this because, for a long time, I didn't know who I was and where I was going and what I wanted to do with my life. And for those of you who may not know, it's just, I was living a lie. Basically, that's what it was. It was a lie. I was living a lie because I was living to please others. I wasn't living for Rajade. I wasn't living in my God-given destiny or even my purpose for that matter. And for the longest, I had no idea what purpose even meant. So, Jo, my first question for you today is, what is purpose? Because I kind of find it that, when you're going through life and you keep running into things, you're just like, well, why am I here? What is the purpose of all of this? I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with my life. So can you help us, guide us with discussing what purpose is?
Absolutely. I remember myself feeling that same way, not sure of what direction I was supposed to be going in life. I felt like every way I went, everything I tried, it resulted in a dead end. So purpose is, a lot of times we hear it and we think it's this big, but it's really very simple. Purpose is the reason that you were created. All of us were created for a specific purpose. We all have a special gift that we are to share with the world. So your purpose is the reason you were created, and it is the gift that you have to give to others.
Right. And then some people, sometimes when people ask me, what do I do and how did I know that I was supposed to help women specifically? And I try to tell people that I didn't wake up thinking, oh, I'm supposed to help women. I didn't wake up feeling that. It's, it was a series of experiences. It was a series of bumping my head and going down the wrong path, a whole bunch of hard knocks that kind of guided me towards my purpose. And some people feel like, all these bad things, these series of unfortunate events is happening, but I still have not figured out my purpose. So what do you say to that, Jo?
I say keep living, because what a lot of people think when the topic of purpose even comes up is that purpose is something they have to find. Your purpose is always there. It is something that is right in front of you. You may be living in your purpose and not even realize it. So it is more a matter of discovering what that purpose is, because the purpose isn't lost. You were born with it. God gave it to you when He created you. So it's always been there. It's just a matter of narrowing down what specifically you were created to do. So, for instance, me, I found that I was always in a situation where I had to assist, or I found that I was always the individual that people called on when they needed to work through something, when they needed to talk to someone and get a different perspective, or even when they needed that push in life. So when I came into developing and discovering my own purpose, it was like, what? I've been doing this my whole life. Even when I was in the workforce, before I even ventured off into entrepreneurship, it was that realization that I was always in purpose, even though I didn't know it was my purpose. So a lot of times in purpose discovery, the first question that I ask someone is, what is your passion? And your passion and your purpose are often so in line that it will blow your mind. You could literally be standing on the threshold of your purpose and not even realize it.
Right. Like, I can definitely relate to that. I remember, I was always, for me, being an introvert, and when I was, working at the law firm, just naturally, I would just mentor the other women in the law firm. Like, didn't think nothing of it. I would ask questions. Well, how did you do this? And how did you do that? And this and that. And I found myself nurturing them. I found myself feeding them. I found myself guiding them in terms of their career goals and personal goals. And that's kind of like how my business is kind of started, and what I started discovering what I enjoy doing, because when I did those things, I like to tell people I got that happy high, just doing it. Like, I be gritty, how you on the phone gritting with your first date and stuff, and you blushing and stuff. Like, that's how I felt with my purpose. Like, seriously, when I discovered it, like, I just be grinning ear to ear, just even right now, just talking about it, I'm grinning. So it's just like, when you find your purpose, you're just so excited about it. And I like to tell people, you'll know when it's your purpose. Like, no one can identify it for you, but you because for me, it's just like, you're so excited about it. Like, when you figure out your purpose, you just got to tell somebody about it. You just go into go mode.
Absolutely. That is so true. When you actually discover your purpose and what it is you were created for, you get so much fulfillment and so much joy. It's literally a sense of being complete. And that's how you know if you're in your purpose or not, because if there's still a void that you're seeking to fill, 9 times out of 10, it is not what you were called to do. I remember being in the work field when I, worked for other people. Before I started in my own company, I remember dreading going to work. Like, I remember the feeling of getting up and having to go into this place. And I knew that I served a purpose in that position that I held. I knew that I was there for a reason, but it didn't fulfill me. I was not happy. I did not feel like my life had a mission. I just felt like I was going through the motions day to day. So coming into purpose discovery, I'm telling you that it is a joy like none other. You know you're operating in purpose when you feel fulfilled.
Absolutely. And for those that may be on a call and say, for example, you just waking up, when you feel like you're just waking up and you're just going through the motions of life, and you just hear and you're just like, oh, it's just repeat, and there's nothing entertaining or nothing that gets you excited about living, that's how you know that you're out of purpose. And that's what I found. And Jo, I was just like you when I was working at the law firm. Like I said, before, like you heard me speak at the event before, that I was going to work. Like I had to be at work at 7 a.m. I literally did not get there to 10 a.m. I was intentionally trying to get fired because I dreaded my job. My job was killing me, not only from a physical standpoint, but from a spiritual standpoint as well, because I was becoming more and more evil. Just, I didn't want to deal with people. I was short tempered. It was just like, everything about me was dying. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want relationships. I didn't want anything. Life was just draining when I wasn't living in purpose. And when I actually figured it out, like I said, it was just like a light bulb just clicking. I was like, oh, this is it. And I was just like, oh. And like you said, it's something that I've always done. When I look back on it, I've always mentored other women. I've always helped other people. I've always helped other people realize their goals and dreams and turn it into something. I just never looked at it like, oh, this is my purpose. This is my gift. This is what I'm supposed to do in my life. Because when we grow up, especially here in the U.S., we're taught about this American dream, right? We're taught like, oh, you go to school, you get a good job, you get the grades, and you get married, you buy the house with the red picket fence, you have some babies, and buy a dog, right? But they don't tell you about that. They don't tell you about,
Exactly.
they don't tell you about all these other things that can impact your happiness, that can impact your peace of mind, and your purpose. And we're not taught that you go to school and find your purpose. We're taught you go to school and you make money.
Exactly, and that is so true. So many of us don't even realize that we have limited ourselves in actually living purpose-driven lives because of that. I call it the vicious cycle, because it's what we've been taught. Our parents were taught to go to school, get a job, start a family, and that's the process that we were taught, and so we feel like that's the only way to live, that we have to stick to this rigid line of this is what success looks like, instead of creating that success for ourselves or even living out the success that we want.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think, right now we are the generation that is kind of breaking the mold and transitioning old stereotypes and traditions, because what works for our parents is not wrong, because that's what worked in their generation.
Absolutely.
But as time is changing and the needs of our society and our future generations are changing, how we operate, it definitely, we have to operate in how we operate first starts with our mindset. And so that comes with understanding who you are internally. And that's that whole thing about purpose. And some people some people don't get that, how what you define your purpose for is how you perform it, whether you're working for yourself or someone else. If you don't know who you are or what you're here for, it's impossible for you to perform at your maximal potential.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that 1,000%. You are incapable of being effective in your role in any position if you don't first know who you are. And you're absolutely right. It starts in the mind. And as a transformation coach, that is where I begin. I come in and I help people to realize that they can actually have everything they think they can, or the success that they have right now. Everything that you have in your life right now is a direct reflection of your thoughts. And if you can change the way you are thinking, then you can change your life. So I absolutely go in from the approach of we have to start with our mind. Transformation begins inwardly, and then it's reflected outwardly for everyone to see. And you can live a purpose-driven life if you believe that you can.
Right, absolutely. So I want to delve right into this purpose. Like, how do we live in purpose? Because we talked about it, and I know it's some people on the line that's probably anxiously awaiting, like, okay, they're talking about how they're all happy and living in success, and they're living in their purpose. How can I do it too now?
Absolutely. So for me, I like to keep things simple, and I have a 3-step process for just beginning the process of discovering what it is that your purpose is. And the first thing is to examine your life, really reflect. And just like Rejade and I shared, how we had been living in purpose all along and had no idea that this is what we were called to do. But when we came into that realization, it was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I've been doing this forever. So examine your life and see what it is that, what area you have been operating in, and ask yourself, is this what you are created to do? Now, I cannot tell you what you were created for. That's for you to discover, but I can help you start the process. And the first key is to examine your life. A lot of times we do live up to what other people view success as. So in examining your life, I challenge you to create your own definitions. Create the definitions for what you think success is. If success for you looks like travel and financial freedom, then you create that definition and stick to it, because you're really limitless in the things that you can do. If you're feeling unfulfilled, if you're feeling uncertain in the area that you are right now, this is a time to examine your life and ask yourself, what will make you happy? What will bring you that sense of fulfillment? What do you find yourself most excited to do? What are you passionate about? Those are the things that you need to ask yourself in that examining phase. And after you examine and figure out what it is that you may be called to do, you start the evolution process. Transformation is a process that is done gradually. So don't just think, oh, I discovered my purpose and tomorrow life is going to be so much different. You actually have to put in work towards what it is that you work hard to do. So you've begun the process. So now it's the time to start evolving. Maybe do some research in a specific area, or call upon people who are operating in that same lane. Find you mentors. Find people that can guide you and really help nurture and shape and develop you in your purpose. And then my third step is break free. You emerge. Once you discover who you are, you go out and you give it to the world, because purpose is not for you. You were created to help somebody else, and you dare not cause somebody else to stumble because you aren't operating in your purpose, because you choose not to operate in your lane. It's a saying that says, if you always do what you always have done, you'll always get what you always got. So if you want to see something different, you have to do something different. The definition of insanity: doing the same thing over and over, expecting expecting a different result, even though you're doing the same thing. If you want your life to change, you have to start somewhere. So start with examining, then start the evolution process, and then emerge, break free, go out and share who you truly are with the world. Not who people think you should be, not who your mother told you to be, not who you even thought you were going to be because of the examples that you see, but be who you were created to be in your authentic self. Not afraid, unashamed to share with the world exactly who you are.
Absolutely. I want to go back to like when you first started, and it's something that you said that stuck with me is no one can tell you what your purpose is. And I think sometimes, you know, we look for validation. We're asking our mom or dad or sister, brother, or our girlfriends, and we're asking like, well, hey, what do you think about if I do this? And I think sometimes what blocks us from living in our purpose, we're too concerned of, getting validation from others. And I think that's what you said. It starts with self first, that mindset piece. And I think a lot of times we're blocked from seeing our purpose because we have these blockers on, because we're focused. We're not laser focused on our destiny. We're laser focused on what's around us. Those distractions, I like to call them.
Absolutely. We are distracted in so many areas of our lives, and that is so important to do when you are talking about purpose. Identify those things that distract you. You can absolutely be distracted by seeking validations from other people. That's why it's so important for you to define it yourself. Because if you're looking to be what other people think, or if you're looking for someone to give you their stamp of approval, nothing you do will be good enough. You won't be able to measure up because you can't please everybody. So your concern can't be other people. You have to know that the lane you are called to, you need to stay in. And I think it's so important too to know that once you are in your lane, don't be distracted by what other people say, because, again, you won't please everybody. And there will be opportunities that come out of the way that are not in line with your purpose. And you can't even be distracted by that, because it might look good. But if it's not in line with your purpose, I'm telling you, it is a distraction. It is a detour. It's going to push you further out the line, because we don't chase in your purpose, you don't have to chase money. You don't have to chase people. You don't even have to chase opportunities. When you're living a life of purpose, doors open for you. When you're living in your purpose, you don't have to chase it. It comes automatically. You don't have to seek it. Purpose is the only work in purpose is the work you put in to make your purpose great. The work doesn't come from seeking out opportunities. Those doors open to you because you're doing what you were called and created to do.
Absolutely. And I just want to share that because like some people in terms of they're like, well, I'm doing like I see it oftentimes, like even on social media sometimes can be a distraction. You have to be very careful of what you take in and who you're friends with on social media or who's even in your circle for that matter, because those are distractions too. Your immediate circle are the main ones that can distract you from your purpose. And sometimes for me, I found that it was my family. That was a
Oh, yeah.
distraction for me. And, you know, our family loves us. They really, they mean the best for us. But you have to be so careful because, like you said, if we're not laser focused, then we're not in our lane. We're in somebody else's lane. And it's not our job to be in multiple lanes. We need to be in one lane. That's the only way to make this thing called success work is to stay focused on your own lane, to stay focused on your own destiny and your own purpose. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I see that I know for a fact that hindered me. And I say that when you become laser focused, and it's okay to be, I like to say, it's okay to be selfish with yourself. I tell this to my coaching clients all the time. And I think as women, that's so hard to accept, being selfish, because we're naturally nurturers, right? We're naturally able, we care for others and we put others before self. But the first step into getting to our purpose is self-care. And that's to do the work to understanding what do we want out of life? What do we need to nourish ourselves? And the first step to nourishing of our body in our spirit, number one, is to actually start living in purpose.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and when we start living in that purpose, you know, like you said, Joe, those opportunities come. I can say honestly, for me, for the past almost 4 years now that I have been running my businesses, people just, I get random emails. Like, I don't do a lot of marketing. I tell people, like, I do a little branding, but I'm not a marketer. I'm not a salesperson. I dread sales. It's uncomfortable for me to ask people to buy things and stuff like that. I honestly don't do it. For me, it's because I live in my purpose. My personality speaks for itself. My work speaks for itself. And when I work for people, actually, my clients are kind of my salespeople. They go out, they tell somebody, and the next thing you know, I got more clients. And, you know, for the past 4 years, I have been able to live a life of abundance from that. And so I have been blessed in that regard, just from being who I am and just helping people. Like, I help people all the time, and I may not even charge a fee just because, you know what, I enjoy doing what I do. The fulfillment is more important to me than the money. And I had a professor, her name was Patricia E.K. Guanu, and I will never forget in college, I want to say I was 19, and she used to say this thing to us all the time. She used to say to us students, she'd be like, if you do what you love, the money will come. She will always tell us that. Do what you love and the money will come. And I don't know why that stuck with me, but it stuck with me to the point, it stuck with me to the point that it eventually, that's what I do. I absolutely do it. And this past weekend, I sat down with a group of, you know, budding entrepreneurs, and I was sitting there just helping them work on their business for 6 whole hours. And you know what? As I was taking a break, as we were taking our 15-minute break, and I'm looking at my daughter, and was just so thankful and so blessed because, you know, I never in a million years would have thought, you know, this would be me, being able to take my daughter with me into a meeting and then, you know, have the best of both worlds, to have family time and to be able to make money and to make an impact on the community.
Absolutely. That is one of the biggest things that I love about just even running my own, that I get to do those things. I get to, like you said, spend time with my kids and make money while doing it and help other people. I would absolutely do what I do for free because I find, too, that same fulfillment, that same joy in knowing that because of something I said or because of something I did, someone's life was changed. That within itself is absolutely amazing. So absolutely operating in your purpose, it opens doors without you trying. It does it effortlessly because your purpose makes room for you. Your gift makes room.
Right. And yeah, absolutely. We could just talk about this thing called purpose all day because it's just,
Right.
it's just, because I get so sad when I see people, they're not living in their purpose and I see so much more in them. I see so much more potential in them, but it's not my job to sit there and tell them exactly what to do. It's just all I know is that I see it. I feel it off of them, especially, it's just like we're as women, we are meant for more. I like to say that we are the neck that makes the man's head turn. And I also like to say we are the axis that makes the world turn. Without us, life would not be able to go on. We are one of the most powerful creatures, and a lot of us are just diminishing our light. And so I really wanted to talk about purpose today because I wanted women to see two examples, you and myself, because sometimes I think people see me, they're like, oh, she's just a bunch of fluff. But I want them to see that there's other people too actually out here living in purpose. It's not just
Yeah.
me. It's other real women out here. Now, that does not mean living in purpose does not mean your life is going to be perfect now. No, we all have challenges and things like that we struggle with, but it's about learning how to deal with them. And when you live in purpose, when something like, for example, I remember 1 month this year, I swear, like it felt like I got 8 flat tires, like back to back, back to back. And you know what? I could have been like, dang it, I could have cursed at the world. I could have just blamed everything on the roads, the state of Michigan not fixing these raggedy roads. I could have blamed a whole bunch of things. But you know what? I was just like, it's okay. I was going to get it fixed, and life just kind of worked itself out. I was able to get all those tires fixed. It didn't impact my bank account and life went on. So
Yeah.
when you live on purpose, how you view things actually change. How you deal with situations change.
Yes.
You're not caught up in the funk. You're just everything. You just deal with life. You're in a better peace of mind. That's what I like to say. Peace of mind is the best thing. That's my philosophy. If you're not contributing to my peace or making me a better person, you got to go.
I put up a status the other day that said anything that costs you your peace is too expensive. It's
Oh my
something you do
goodness.
not need to invest in. Do not spend your time on it. If it is taking away from your peace, leave it alone. And I mean that with everything in me. If you take nothing else, take purpose and take your peace.
Yes, and yeah, absolutely, because you need it. You absolutely need it, and I love it. So, Joe, I want to thank you for being on the show. But before we go today, I want you to let our listeners know how they can connect with you, and to let them know about any upcoming events or places you'll be at, so they can connect with you further.
Absolutely. You can follow me on social media. On Facebook, I am Jo Thurmond. And actually, in parentheses, you can search Joe the Giant, and I will come up. If you follow that, Joe the Giant, on all other social media platforms, you can find me there. I have a purpose discovery session this coming Monday, September 19th at 6:30 p.m. You can attend this session live if you're in the Michigan area, but you can also attend this session virtually. We do have a virtual option for your attendance. So tonight, because I am so passionate about purpose and I'm so passionate about helping others live a life of purpose, I am giving away a free pass to attend one of my purpose discovery sessions for this coming Monday, September the 19th at 6:30. So if you would like to be entered to receive a free purpose discovery session, I need you to text purpose to 38470. Again, text purpose to 38470. We are so excited about connecting with you. We're so excited about leading you to a life of purpose. There's truly no joy like it in the world, to know that you are doing exactly what you are called and created to do. There are people who are waiting on you to get in line with your purpose so that they can live the life they need to lead. So connect with me on social media. Follow us on Instagram at It's a Purpose Party. Follow me on my specific page at Joe the Giant. And yeah, that's how you can get in touch with me.
Well, thank you, Joe. I just really appreciate you for being on this call and sharing your experiences with us. We're definitely going to stay connected because I'm all about helping, all of us, I like elevating with other women, who are serious about taking their lives to the next level. And I like to grow as well because I don't know everything, you know. And so, yeah, so definitely we'll be in touch. And
absolutely. I'm forward to it.
yep, and we enjoyed having you on the show today. So I will be talking to you soon, girl.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in. Hop on over to searchforherexistence.com and join in on the discussion. Also, tweet us at searchforherexist and tell us what you think about today's show. See you next week, all on Bold Radio Station.